So this is a different kind of video. Obviously, for anybody who watches my channel, you see this as a YouTube channel, but for me, I treat it as like a personal diary, like a personal journal. And today is currently July 19th, 2026, but I'm going to have this uploaded by tomorrow. So by the time you see this, it'll be July 20th, 2026. And July 20th is a special day for me because tomorrow, July 20th, 2026, will officially be 2 years of sobriety for me. 2 years of no alcohol. Pretty proud of myself, so I figured I'm going to celebrate by drinking a beer. But not any kind of beer. I'm having a non-alcoholic beer. So this is the brand name. It's called Sapporo Premium. And as you can see in the blue writing, it says non-alcoholic beer. I've had this sitting in my fridge, so it's nice and cool. And I'm going to pour it into this glass. I think my sister got this for me 5 years ago. It's been a while. This glass, it just says, I don't know if you can tell by the writing. It says Black Dog Beer Shop. This was a beer shop out here in Dunloring that was really close to my old apartment. They closed down a while ago, so honestly, they weren't open for that long, which is kind of sad, but that's what I'm gonna pour this beer into. So let's crack this open. Okay, and let's pour it up. Ooh, I spilled some on my table. It's all good. It's all good. Alrighty. There's still some left, but look at this. It looks like urine. You know, they say if you use like your nose oils and you pour it into the foam, if you like take your finger, put it around the foam, it gets rid of the bubbles. Only the nose grease. Only the nose grease. Okay. I just have a little bit left. Let's pour it in. Alrighty. So poured my beer into the glass. I'll do a cheers with the camera. So, to celebrate 2 years of sobriety, I'm going to have a non-alcoholic beer. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the taste of beer. Like I've had non-alcoholic beer in the last couple of years. I know some people who are sober, they don't even drink non-alcoholic beer because technically a non-alcoholic beer, it always says this on any non-alcoholic beer, it'll always say like contains less than 0.5% alcohol. So technically there is like some alcohol, but to me, like I'm not gonna get like drunk off of this, so I don't consider this as an alcoholic drink. So I'm okay drinking this. But yeah, I miss the taste of a nice cold beer. I used to drink wheat beers. I was a big fan of Blue Moons, Fat Tires, Shock Tops, Ho Gardens. I liked Budweiser. I liked PBRs. I enjoyed beer. But I also enjoyed other drinks as well. I enjoyed a nice Moscow Mule. I enjoyed soju. Only the flavored ones, though. I can't drink the plain soju. That stuff is nasty to me. I used to enjoy all of that. I was never really an alcoholic. I don't consider myself to have to have been an alcoholic. I was never addicted to it or anything. I consider myself to be when I was drinking, a social drinker, just like anybody else. I really didn't start, trying alcohol until I was in college and, I was attending college parties. And I mean, obviously at the time I enjoyed drinking because I enjoyed getting drunk, but I also felt a bit of pressure to drink in order to fit in. I also used to be a really shy, nervous, socially anxious person back in college, and I felt that I needed an alcoholic drink in order to talk to people, in order to talk to a girl that I found really attractive. I had to drink, I had to get drunk in order to say something. And looking back, that is super embarrassing. So that's, when I was in college, I drank because, I enjoyed getting drunk, but I also felt like I needed to drink in order to fit in. But also back in college, there wasn't much. I had a lot of free time. I didn't really do much. I didn't have any hobbies, honestly. So, I just got drunk, with my friends. After college, you know, I moved back home and started working a 9 to 5 job. And I definitely cut back on the drinking compared to my college days. So I was still like, socially drinking. Like, I would sometimes go out with my friends to bars and things like that. Um, I didn't really like going to bars after college, but every now and then I would. And when I go, I would obviously be drinking and I would get drunk. I never, when I used to drink, I know some people, they have like a beer or two and like that's it. I feel like at the time, I felt like I needed more. I'm like, it's either I'm not drinking at all or I'm going to get like pretty drunk. That was my mindset for a while. And then it wasn't until I would say the last the last 2 3 years of my like drinking days, I started to feel something like weird. Sorry, there's like a kid on the floor below me that's like screaming and crying. I don't know if the camera caught that. But anyways, what am I saying? So the last 2 3 years of my drinking days, I started to get like really, really tired. Really, really tired whenever I drank. I would have like one or two drinks, I get like buzzed, I'm feeling good, and then like 30, 45 minutes later, I like crash. I'm like tired, I'm in a bad mood. I want to go home. I don't want to talk to anybody. I completely shut down. And the next day, I don't have like a hangover, but I just feel very like groggy and sluggish, and I just want to like lay in bed all day, and I get like very depressed, and it's not a good feeling. I let's say like if I'm like hanging out with some friends and I have a drink or two, and then the next day on Sunday I'm just like laying in bed all day, just like feeling so terrible. And I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to waste my weekends like just like rotting in bed like this. This is not a good use of my time. As we get older, when we start working a job where you have to work Monday through Friday, you realize your time becomes the most valuable thing. And I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my weekends laying in bed because the night before I had like 1 or 2 drinks. That's not worth it for me anymore. So I would say that was like the main reason why I decided to stop drinking. And it's also like a kind of like a confidence thing for me. Like whenever I went to like a event, a bar, a party, a concert, a wedding, I always felt like I needed to drink in order to have fun, in order to loosen up. I wanted to stop relying on alcohol in order for me to just have fun and enjoy my life. I shouldn't have to rely on alcohol. Because honestly, in my eyes, there's really no benefits to drinking alcohol. There really isn't. And, I decided 2 years ago, July 20th, 2024, I was on a boat in Seattle. At the time, I was celebrating my sister and my dad's birthdays because their birthdays are not too far apart. And I had like a little like couple sips of wine that my sister brought. And that was the last alcoholic drink I've had. The past 2 years, I told myself, no more. I think I'm done drinking. And I've stuck with it. And I'm proud of myself. I've gone 2 years, no alcohol. I've attended concerts and bars and parties and weddings completely sober. I can have fun without relying on alcohol. And as somebody who has dealt with social anxiety their entire life, as somebody who was a super shy and nervous and awkward kid growing up, for me to be able to say that, like, I don't need to rely on alcohol to have fun. I don't need to rely on alcohol to be in social situations. Like, that is freaking huge. So, I don't always take the time to like acknowledge my achievements, but being 2 years sober is pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie, because like for anybody out there who does drink or anything, try being sober for 2 years. Let's see how it goes, okay? So I'm very proud of myself, and I think I always knew, I always knew that I wanted to stop drinking by the time I'm 30 years old. At the time, I was 27 when I decided to quit. Currently 29. I'm still sober, still going strong. Do I plan to be sober for the rest of my life? That's the plan right now, and I'm happy with it. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll just like say screw it and just like relapse and just start chugging a bunch of White Claws or something. I don't know. But for now, I'm just going to stick with staying sober, and I'm happy about it. I'm very proud of myself. So, yeah, this is kind of a random video. This is kind of different from the content that I usually post, but, this is something that I'm very proud of, and, I just wanted to share it here on YouTube. So, if you are still watching, I appreciate it. If you're somebody who, is like maybe sober curious, or somebody who is looking to, just stop drinking completely, it's possible. You can do it. There's also resources out there to help you through the process. There's always people you can talk to. If you have questions for me, you can leave a question in the comments. But yeah, that's about it. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I hope you have a great night.